love bugs, welcome back to my channel, and on today we will be doing a Bible study with me video. You guys asked me to do two videos, and one was how to build a relationship with God, and the other one was a Bible study with me. So today I will be showing you guys how I do Bible study. So first, you're gonna need a journal, a pencil or a pen, highlighters, and the Bible. I normally use the Bible app on my phone, but since I'm recording, I will be using my laptop. So I pulled up the Bible app on my laptop, and that is all you need for today. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so what you're gonna do is just write down, I do Bible study, the date, and I'm gonna write down the chapter, the book and the chapter. So, Genesis 37, we're gonna be doing the whole chapter. And on the Bible app, it gives you like labels of, well, it goes section by section. So right now we're gonna just put down Joseph's dreams. Sorry, my handwriting is sloppy. Just to give you an idea of what we will be learning and discussing on today. So Joseph's dreams. And now you read. This is what the Bible app looks like on my laptop. So what we're gonna do is just read this first section until you get to where it says Joseph sold into slavery. And we're gonna read and highlight and comment on parts that stick out to us the most. All right. That we've read the first portion, I just went through, took notes about the important things. I'm sorry, my handwriting is so sloppy, ignore that. But I wrote down the characters, who it's about for the most part, and I highlighted the things that stood out. So now we're on the second portion, but let's just go back over the first portion and I'll let you guys know what happened. It talks about Jacob and how he settled in the land of Canaan, where his father had lived as a foreigner, and Jacob is Joseph's father. So as we go into it, it talks about how Joseph, how his dad loved him more than any of his brothers, and he was 17 years old, and he tended to his flock, and his other brothers did more so the harder work, and that is what caused them to resent Jacob. So then it goes into Jacob starts dreaming, and he tells his brothers and his father and his mothers about his dreams. And the first dream, it talked about how one of, I believe, the ram died, and his brothers weren't believing him. So then he had another dream, and he was talking to them. He was like, I had a dream, and you guys bowed before me, and so did all the stars in the land. And his father was like, he was questioning, what do these dreams mean? Will we really bow down to you? And that dream is what caused his brothers to hate him even more. So now we're gonna go into the second portion titled Joseph Sold into Slavery, and we're just gonna redo what we did before. We're gonna write it down on the next page, take notes and highlight, and then we will review after. So now that is the end of the second portion. And I just went ahead and took notes for the second portion. That is also the end of chapter 37. So what I would like to do is go ahead and I write down the review from what was talked about, what stood out the most in chapter 37. So we're going to put down Jacob equals father of Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer. He was gifted a colorful robe. Because of his dreams. So, and then his brothers plotted to kill him. They sold, they sold him into slavery for 20 pieces of silver, I believe. Yep. Okay. Okay, so now that chapter 37 is over, we're going to go ahead and do a small review of what was talked about in chapter 37. So you all remember from the first portion that Joseph was having dreams and he told his family about it, and they were questioning his dreams, but his father also began to realize the anointing on Joseph's life. So but his brothers didn't like that because he was loved more by his father. So Jacob, Joseph's father, sent Joseph to find his brothers and help them while they were working in the fields. I can't pronounce the word specifically, but when he got there, someone told them his brothers had already left to Dothan. So then he went to Dothan and looked for them. And the brothers seen him coming and they said, you know, let's kill Joseph and throw him in a cistern, I think that's how it's said. And Reuben, one of the brothers, said, let's not kill him, don't kill him. And but when Joseph arrived, they stripped him of his robe and threw him in a cistern anyways without killing him. And Judah, he came up with the idea. He said, no, let's not kill Joseph. Let's just sell him into slavery, because if we kill him, we'll have to cover up our blood. So they sold Joseph into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. Reuben came back and Joseph was gone. So in order to cover up their tracks, the brothers killed a young goat, dipped Joseph's robe in it, and they sent the robe to Jacob, Joseph's father, and with a message saying, does this belong to your son? Knowing good and well it belonged to him, but their jealousy drove them to the point that they had to sell their own brother into slavery and cover it up. So yeah, Jacob, Joseph's father, said that he would go to his grave mourning for his son. And meanwhile, while Jacob was mourning, Joseph was sold into slavery in Egypt to Potiphar, who was the captain of the ground place and an officer for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And as you can see, that's our review right here. And we're just going to go into the next chapter, chapter 38. Okay, so chapter 38 is the first portion is titled Judah and Tamar. And Judah, as you all remember from the last portion, is the brother who decided to sell Joseph into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. So what we're going to do now is what we've been doing. We're going to write down this section right here. We're going to write down the paper, and we're going to keep reading and highlighting and taking notes. So chapter 38 only had one section, and that was just the story of Judah and Tamar. So I went ahead and just did it all, and I'm going to give you guys a brief review of what happened. A lot happened. So Judah left his family and went and got married. Judah and his wife, they gave birth to 3 boys, Onan, and Shelah. And Judah arranged a marriage for and Tamar, but was wicked, so God took his life. So then Judah told Onan to marry Tamar so that he can produce an heir for his brother. And Onan wasn't following directions. Every time that they would have intercourse, he would spill his semen on the ground, and God did not agree with what Onan was doing, so he took his life as well. And then Judah told Tamar that once Shelah grows up, I will give him to you. And he was not sure if this was a good idea because he didn't know if Tamar was going to be living. So later on, when Judah's wife died, Shelah had been grown up, but Tamar hadn't received any news on whether or not arrangement was going to be made. So when Judah and his friend went to supervise the shearing of sheep, someone told Tamar that he was going there. So Tamar took off her widow clothing and dressed up in disguise behind a veil and went and found Judah. Judah noticed her and thought that she was a prostitute. So Judah asked Tamar to have sex with him, not knowing who she was, and they had sex. And she said, "How much would you pay me?" He said he would pay her a portion of his flock, I believe, it was just 1 goat. And she was like, "How can I trust that you're going to pay me?" And he was like, "Take my identification seal." Well, she asked for his identification seal. It's cord and his walking stick. So she received that and she left, and Tamar becomes pregnant. So Tamar had twins, and she never slept with Judah again. The word got out about what happened, and Tamar gave birth to those twins. But when Tamar gave birth to those twins, something crazy happened. Okay, so the midwife came and she pulled out the firstborn and tied a scarlet around his finger. But the other twin came out and pushed the firstborn out of the way so that he could be born first. So those twins were named Perez and Zara. And that is it for Genesis chapter 37 and 38. That will conclude today's video. If you enjoyed this Bible study with me and want to hear the rest of Joseph's story, the video will be coming soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning in.